In this video, I'm focusing on this wall section. First is doing the demo, which isn't going to take too much of your time. When that is finished, I'm moving on to sheetrocking the two outer sections. This video is mostly about wall construction, and while I'm doing that, I will also be doing a quick product review of the DeWalt 4-piece screw setter bits. You might be wondering why I'm not focusing on the middle part of the wall. That's because I haven't decided what I want to do with it yet. I'm really into the open concept idea, but also wanting each room to feel a bit more separate. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's kind of my thought process at the moment. And if you're into time lapses, there's one at the end of the video. It's of me hauling out my first load of trash and debris from the house and dumping it into my friend's end-up trailer. Let's get into it. Similar to what I did in my last video, I changed out this electrical box and a few outlets. But I did not change how the wiring was routed, since I didn't find any issues with them when I opened up the wall. I would have loved to put this piece of sheetrock vertically to avoid additional mudding and taping, but the wall isn't wide enough for me to do so. Horizontally, it was roughly 32 inches wide, which would have left me with a pretty decent chunk if I was to cut it while I laid horizontally, and I probably wouldn't be able to use the scrap portion if I laid the whole sheet vertically. I use my 2x4 method to get the top portion as high and square as possible. I find this to be the most effective way to approach this since I'm doing this solo. I'm leveraging the bottom left side with the pry bar to try to get the exact amount of spacing all the way across the middle seam of the two pieces of sheetrock. Unfortunately, there have been people walking around these neighborhoods, not all of them with the best intentions. So I had to resort to taping some paper rolls to cover up the windows. I have gotten to know the neighbors on both sides of the property, and they also have been keeping an eye out for me. With the windows set up the way they are now, my time frame to work on this house is a lot shorter, because I usually don't start until after 5 p.m. once I'm off work. So there's not much daylight left to get things done, or to film them. So if you're wondering why progress looks slow, that's just one of the many reasons I have on my list. And when content creators say filming doubles the time it takes to do anything, they're not kidding. Between camera setups and different camera angles, time adds up. But as I'm beginning to get the reps in, it's all starting to feel second nature. I hope you guys can see my improvement with each video that I post. This time, I placed the drywall vertically, because the seam right in the middle of the closet door matched perfectly with this full 4x8 piece of sheetrock. After getting the corners lined up, I used my pencil to mark along the opening of the closet and cut off that section. I'm using my pry bar again to get a slight lift on the sheetrock. I was able to get the top cut portion of the sheetrock to rest on top of the base of the closet frame opening. Next is my honest first time review of the 4-piece DeWalt Screw Setter. I'll be using it now on the same piece of sheetrock. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I labeled on here where all the studs are behind the sheetrock. Because I can't see behind the sheetrock, so I don't know where the studs are actually at. So I measured out from this side 3/4, that's exactly where this stud is at. Then on center, the next stud is 4 inches here. Then from this side, 3/4 stud on this side. Then over 7 3/4 inches is the next stud. And from here to here, 16 inches on center is the next stud. And what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna get my ruler and a level, and then I'm gonna mark out a line so I know where to screw at. So I have these DeWalt drywall screw setters. They came with my Amazon packages the other day. And how they're supposed to be used is that you had this drill bit head. This is that drywall screw setter. And you can see the Phillip bit is set in more than that surface. So when you use your drill and you put the Phillips screw in here, the Phillips head itself is going to slip on purpose so it doesn't press it in more. And it's supposed to give you that perfect amount to where you can just put mud on it and it'll be covered up. So let's put it to the test. So I have my drill set at max. I'm not going to put a lot of pressure on here when I'm pressing it in. I'm just going to set the screw in. Press it in there, and then try to be flat as possible. Not too bad. Do it again. Oh yeah, that works pretty good. The key is to not put too much force on it, because if you put too much force, you're just gonna still drive it all the way through. So I'm just putting light pressure on it and the drill do all the work. And this is a 4-pack. And it was, to me, it was relatively cheap to have, just to get the exact amount of depth that you need to get these screws in, just so you don't have to drive it all the way through, then you have to drill in more screws and have more defects in the drywall. That one didn't work out too well. I probably didn't go flight on that one. Try to take it out. Yeah, it was definitely me. That wasn't the tool, that was me. I didn't go in straight. So it kind of stuck out at an angle. So the key is being directly flat, driving in, and again, let the drill do all the work. So if you're doing a massive renovation like I am, or you just do a bunch of drywall jobs in general, I feel like this is a good buy. It's just your screw at the right depth where you can just put a minimal amount of mud to cover up the hole. You don't ever have to mess with the torque settings on your drill. You just set it at max, set one of these in there, drive your screw in, let it slip, and you should be set at the correct depth. I'll have an Amazon link below if this is something you're interested in. As I was putting the product to the test, I can say that it's super easy to use and it definitely serves its purpose. Now when it comes to quantity, I was also wondering why they sell these in a set of 4. And I came down with 2 conclusions. The first one was, after driving thousands of screws, the Phillips head inside might wear down and strip. Or maybe they thought ahead and provided 3 extras so your friends can join in on the drywall hanging process. Overall, I think the DeWalt Screw Setter is a great buy. The built-in spacer helps set the screw at the right depth and takes the guesswork out. No more adjusting torque settings to avoid overdriving. Just set your drill at max and let the tool and the DeWalt Screw Setter do all the work. So, what do you think about this product? Do you think this will help you save time and help you work more efficiently? Or do you think you can get the same outcome just by dialing down torque settings on your drill? Let me know in the comments below. I hope you found this video entertaining and informational. Please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to follow me on this journey.